Mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans, right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Hello, filthy plebs. It is me, your Commissar Keir Starmer. I am here to announce that on behalf of the communities of the United Kingdom, everybody who is watching this program is in violation of Section 25311.215 of the Miscommunications Act. Please go to your nearest town centre and voluntarily submit yourself for DEI education, where you will be invasively treated for any kind of racism, transphobia, homophobia, Islamophobia, or anti-Semitism. Failure to report is a crime, and we will not tolerate crime in our communities. I have been watching with great interest the passage of the new assisted dying bill, which should be through Parliament very shortly. We are, of course, very excited to have more ways to kill off the legacy English, so we will have space to import more new, faraway people who are much more compliant members of society. Your time is over. It is time to go to the town centre in your new 15-minute city and basically submit yourself for either re-education or assisted dying. We will be happy to provide you with all of the assistance that you need. We will waive checks based on skin colour. Of course, if it has been decided that you have any naughty thoughts or tendencies towards racism, you will be put to the front of the queue. As we have said many times, such people have no place in our society, and so, after doing a bit of thinking, we decided that the best way to implement this policy would be to provide a way to discreetly get rid of the people who have no place in our society. Thank you very much, and remember, we are always watching. Welcome back, everyone. Habbening Bros, it's a Thursday. Thank you very much to Keir Starmer, appearing live by BrainChip. I always feel a bit dirty when he sort of takes over my brain via BrainChip, like someone's left a sort of, week-old ham sandwich lingering about the place, or perhaps a puddle of cat sick. That just kind of like slimy, kind of, nasty sort of feel. Yes, it's a Thursday night. Hope you all had a lovely week. Tonight, we have, what do we got tonight? So first, breaking news. In fact, it's so breaking that there's not really much news to cover. RFK has been confirmed as head of HHS in the United States. Farmer Chuds be seething. Farmer Chuds BTFO'd. It is as though millions of farmer voices cried out and then were briefly silent whilst they went on their way to their lawyer to start ginning up a massive lawsuit. Tulsi Gabbard has also been confirmed as the Director of National Intelligence. I can literally hear the sound of hundreds of thousands of intelligence professionals colluding together to figure out how to block her from doing anything meaningful. Will it work out? Well, we don't know, bros. We don't know. Might cover that a bit later on. But tonight, first, we are covering, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened, bros. Trump talked to Putler. He talked to Putler. I can't believe it, bros. Look, it had been decided, right, that nobody talks to the Putler, right? He's the Putler, right? We don't talk to the Putler, right? We overthrow the Putler, right? We keep throwing Ukrainians at the Putler until we are out of Ukrainians, and then we start chucking Polish at the Putler. And when we run out of Poles, we'll start throwing Germans and French at him, right? But of course, Donald Trump, right? The orange-haired Cheeto Hitler, well, you know what they say. Hitlers of a feather flock together. And now we have Trumpler and Putler talking to one another. Clearly, this is the end of Western civilization, bros, right? Everybody knows that in order to keep Western civilization going, we have to have a perpetual, permanent war. Trump talking to Putler, of course, is appeasement, right? It's just like World War II, bros. literally everything's like fucking World War II. He says like, can we have something that's not exactly like World War II? Like, I mean, you know, it was a while ago, bro. It's like all I'm saying is, could we think of like a new paradigm to compare things to? As you can imagine, all the normal people are screaming. It looks like some kind of peace arrangement is coming together. Pete Hegseth was talking to NATO as well. Pete Hegseth, of course, the new head of the Department of Defense, and he basically came back and said, "Look, you know, we're not really going to back this, right? It's not really our fight. We got stuff going on in the South Pacific with China, right? Like, we need to use all of our stuff in the Pacific. Maybe the Europeans, you know, if the Europeans are so keen on this, maybe you guys should take it over." Of course, the Europeans are like, no. So yes, everyone's like up in palaver. What exactly is going to happen? I don't know. If you want a sort of more detailed take on this, you can watch the Redux Report with myself and Black Pigeon Speaks on Saturday night. That will be midnight London time, about 7 p.m. New York time. Yes, I know it's late. We have time zones to deal with. You know, just deal with it, right? Oh, no, we got entry. We'll deal with entry later. Right. Second story tonight is what is our second story tonight? Oh yes. As if we did not have enough Hitlers running around, right? With Donald Trump, the Cheeto Hitler, and Putler, the Putin Hitler, we also have Elon Musk, the Musk Hitler. Right, you know, walking around in his cyber truck, which is clearly fash coded, right? I mean, like, who makes something like a cyber truck without being a closet fascist? Okay, am I right, bros? Right. His Department of Fascist Efficiency, right? They just call it government efficiency. We all know what's really going on. It looks like they are actually going to like cut the size of the US government. What am I going to do? My DEI grants are going to be cut off, bros. My $100,000 that I was getting to study Panamanian salamanders, right? And their thigh strength, right? And whether or not they can eat different breakfast cereals is under threat. And I already had another grant in the pipeline to study transgender chihuahuas, right? That was a really good one, right? Like, you know, it took ChatGPT like a whole 3 seconds to come up with that, right? Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to like, get a job or something. Oh, I can't believe it. Yes, DOGE is progressing quite well. The legal challenges have basically been thrown aside. Musk did a sort of live appearance at the White House, which was really, really interesting. Among some of the revelations, there are people on the US Social Security system who are 150 years old. Man, I mean that's pretty amazing, right? I never knew that American Social Security could make you live that long. You cannot fire more than like 10,000 government employees a week because all of the employment contracts are held literally in Iron Mountain. The nuclear bunker under like Mount Cheyenne, and there's like a physical limit to the amount of paperwork that can go up the lift. Crazy, right? Like there's just so much like crazy shit going on. And it is true that many people have known this for a while, that a lot of the architecture that the US government actually runs on is basically from the 1950s. A lot of it still runs on COBOL, which is like a really, really old computer language. I mean, it's so old, right? Like, you know, they were teaching it when I was a fucking teenager, which is a long time ago, right? So yes, there's lots of funny revelations about that, and of course, you know, the more of the seething that you've come to love and expect. It's part of the American condition, bros. And finally, our final story, as your Lord and Master Head Commissar Keir Starmer mentioned in the opening, the UK assisted dying bill. Oh, I love it. Assisted dying. We're not going to kill you, right? We're just going to assist you to die, right? Is basically progressing its way through the parliament. It was widely assured by Kim Leadbeater, the sort of, I don't know, the activist who's basically like sort of pushing this through, that there would be robust safeguards, right, to stop anyone from being killed who was not absolutely 100% sure that they wanted to die. You'd need a high court judge to sign off on it, right? And if you know anything about high court judges, mate, they're impartial. Then presumably someone pointed out that the courts are under so much pressure that, you know, if they really wanted this train to sort of ramp up and get, you know, to where Canada is, right, you know, where they're like, you know, fucking getting like tens of thousands of people off the books a year, they wouldn't be able to get a high court judge. So the new position is they're going to get a panel of 3 experts, bro. Three, count them, 3 experts. Oh, I mean, look, if they're experts, right? Look, if there's one thing, right, that living through the past 5 years has taught me, right, it's that you can trust the experts, right? If an expert says something, you can take it to the bank. And if 3 experts say something, right, it's 3 times as experty. What? You can't say better than that. So yes, that's what we've got for you tonight. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. And I believe we already have a super chat. Let's just check entropy. Oh, from Years the Eunuch. Good to see you, Years. I, of course, will be on Gulag Cafe tonight. We're talking about the new UK bill to, nudge. Oh, it's not a bill, sorry. It's like a position paper on how to nudge people towards more climate changey kind of like stuff. Wait a second. Where's a sticker for you, Years? Confetti and a love heart. Thank you very, very much, Years. Come along to that. That should be fun. Today's meme. This is from Kia Rongan on X. This is the actual government issued structure of the new towns that they will be building. As you can see, it looks wonderful. It's got all the mod cons: a vegan alcohol-free pub, some prison cells, an out-of-charge electric car, some death pods, a re-education unit, a nice area for cottaging and dogging so you can have anonymous gay sex, a gender affirmation center, a llama pen, and a legacy carbon capture, which is what they're calling trees. Now, trees, of course, the term has been deprecated. We will be calling them legacy carbon capture now. Who have we got in the chat? On Rumble, Teabagging Therapist, Years the Eunuch, Wyatt's Torch, Patriots Flow. Oh, good to see you, Patriots. Haven't seen you in a while. The Texas Man, of course, our representative from the great state of Texas. Proper Pictures, good to see you, mate. J. Chiva Loophole, Mikey Bikey, Cthulhu Loves You. Livia Drusilla, great to see you, Livia. I think that's everybody. Is that everybody? And J. Chiva Loophole. I think I already mentioned J. Chiva Loophole, but I'll mention him again. He's worth the double mention. Is that everybody? I think that's everybody. On YouTube, we have Seti Sapiente, of course, Schrodinger's Gaffney, 007, Evil Author 1776, Simon JJ, Budgie Burger, Stumbling, Roger Cook. Oh, the gang's all here. It's lovely to see you all. Otto Stormheart, ja. Jawohl. Herr Stormheart. I think that's everybody. Did I mention 007? Good to see you too, Sar. And on Odyssey, we have Highland Fool and Hardar N-Word, of course, brother of the notorious Sadie N-Word, and Machine for Baked Beans. Good to see you, chaps. Good to see you, chaps. Right, so let's get on with it. Just to say, that meme was from Kia Rongan. Good follow on Twitter. Would recommend. He is Keir Starmer's North Korean brother. Really spitting image. Amazing. Anyway, let's get on with it, bros. I think Masqueration Broadcast sent me this, actually. Shout out Masqueration. If you see this, I think he's at the shop. I hope you're happy. You voted for this. I'm happy. How dare you be happy? Yes. Right. So we start with this. This was Donald Trump truthed this out. Truth. He truthed it out of his truth hole onto the internet. I just had a lengthy and highly productive phone call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. We discussed Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, artificial intelligence, the power of the dollar, and various other subjects. We both reflected on the great history of our nations and the fact that we fought so successfully together in World War II, remembering that Russia lost tens of millions of people and we, likewise, lost so many. We each talked about the strengths of our respective nations and the great benefit that we will someday have in working together. But first, as we both agreed, we want to stop the millions of deaths taking place in the war with Russia and Ukraine. President Putin even used my very strong campaign motto of common sense. We both believe very strongly in it. It's great. We agreed to work together very closely, including visiting each other's nations. We have also agreed to have our respective teams start negotiations immediately, and we will begin by calling President Zelensky of Ukraine to inform him of the conversation. Something which I will be doing right now. Oh, mate. Fucking Zelensky is not going to be happy with this. Ooh, there's, if anyone's like still in the cocaine market, I think Zelensky's buying right now. Right, you know, ship a few more ounces over to him, mate. I have asked Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of the CIA John Radcliffe, National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and Ambassador and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to lead the negotiations, which I feel strongly will be successful. Millions of people have died in a war that would not have happened if I were president, but it did happen, so it must end. No more lives should be lost. I want to thank President Putin for his time and effort with respect to this call and for the release yesterday of Mark Fogel, a wonderful man that I personally greeted last night at the White House. I believe this effort will lead to a successful conclusion, hopefully soon. So, like as you can imagine, regime change shills absolutely molding and seething. Atlantic Council, Foreign Policy, Victoria Nuland, Robert Kagan, adjacent Chads will be absolutely seething and cucking themselves. This, to be serious, this is a massive L for the sort of foreign policy establishment that has basically sort of been running a lot of of America's sort of like Eastern European policy for like quite a while, basically on autopilot. They, of course, basically stated that what they wanted to do was invade Russia and break it up into a bunch of smaller little countries so it would be easier to rule. It doesn't look like that plan is going to happen. Now, as you can imagine, of course, the British who have an interest in Ukraine, no one can explain to me, right, what the strategic interest of the UK is in Ukraine, right? We have to be there. Why? Well, we just do. But why? Shut up, you racist, you Putin shill. These are the kind of like conversations, right? Like I try and ask, I always get some NAFO shill in my comments telling me how like Russia's going to lose any day now. Their economy is on the verge of collapse. They're running out of tanks. No. I'm like, you've literally been saying this exact same stuff for like 3 years. You know, oh, we got another entropy? Is that so? Oh, we did. Oh my God, from stumbling. Let's see, I'll give you a love heart and a dancing girl. For $15 US. Thank you, Stumbling, so much. I'm celebrating getting a new job. Have some money. Oh, well, congratulations on the new job, mate. I hope it goes well for you. Thank you so much. Right. So this is from the Daily Mail, and it's exactly what you would think, honestly, right? Now Putin is poised to invade Europe as Trump casts Ukraine aside. Spy chiefs warn Russia is preparing for a large-scale war by 2030, with president's peace talks compared to Chamberlain appeasing Hitler. It's always 2030. Why do they always use 2030? I think they just use it because it's like some date in the future, right, that hasn't happened yet. They're like, oh, it'll happen by 2030. You know, we're going to have like electric cheese. When? Oh, by 2030, right? We're going to have, you know, luxury gay race communism. When? Oh, by 2030. By 2030, right? When 2030 finally comes around, right, I'm going to be like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Donald Trump's concessions on Ukraine have played into the hands of Vladimir Putin. Experts have warned at a time when intelligence chiefs say Moscow is preparing its military for a major war in Europe. U.S. Defense Chief Pete Hegseth told European counterparts on Wednesday that Ukraine's dream of returning to its pre-2014 borders was a, quote, illusory goal, and that Kiev's wish for NATO membership was, quote, not realistic. Oh, no, Chads. Like, literally, like, facing reality at this point, right? His statements were widely seen as a major victory for Putin and a devastating blow to Kiev, which as a result could be forced to cede vast swathes of territory without the prospect of a security guarantee. They've already ceded vast swaths of territory, right? Like, the territory has been ceded. It is currently occupied, right? Like Like, what are they basically saying? Like, in our minds, we still own it? Like, is that how they, like, behave, like, if someone steals their bike? Oh, yeah, but in my mind, right, I still own, like, my mobile phone that just got stolen. I tell you, they're drinking vodka straight from the bottle in the Kremlin tonight. Trump's former national security advisor John Bolton told CNN it was a great day for Moscow. Mate, John Bolton's fucking crazy, right? Like, Bolton is, like, totally crazy. Livia Drusilla, Pete Hegseth has also just said that Ukraine will not become a member of NATO. Actually, he said that yesterday, Livia, but yes. He has basically said Ukraine will not be a member of NATO. NATO cucks BTFO'd, dare I say? I don't know why I'm being, like, so zoomer today. It must have been Starmer leaving something unpleasant in my brain. Analysts have warned that appeasing Putin could result in history repeating itself. Oh yeah, which history? Which bit of history is going to repeat itself? Oh, well, there's only one part of history that can ever repeat itself, right? Because there's literally nothing ever happened between 1945 and now. Oh, we have another entropy. Texas man. For $5 US. What is electric cheese? It's what you get out of a cyber cow, Texas man, right? You know, you hook the cow up to, like, the VR goggles, right? And you put a Neuralink in its skull, and you get the electric cheese. What? Don't you know anything, mate? Oh, come on. Electric cheese, mate. It's good for you. It's full of seed oils. it literally comes out like pre-seed oiled. Oh, it's delightful. The future is going to be great. Yes. Analysts have warned that appeasing Putin could result in history repeating itself, with former Swedish Prime Minister Carl Bildt accusing Trump of a historical sellout of Ukraine. Fucking hell. It was certainly an innovative approach to a negotiation to make very major concessions before they have even started, he said. Not even Chamberlain went that low in 1938. That Munich ended very bad anyhow. So yes, again, everything is World War II, right? Like, we're just perpetually stuck in the Groundhog Day of World War II. Nothing is allowed to progress beyond World War II. But if we're stuck in World War II, why aren't the Russians our friends? Well, because Putin is Hitler now. Okay? Could you just not at least be consistent? If it must be a Groundhog Day, right, World War II, then couldn't we say, oh yes, we love the communists, right? And we're going to ally with them, and, like, you know, maybe if we're lucky, right, they'll, like, you know, do to, like, Russia again what the Bolsheviks did. I was like, oh my God. Oh, another super chat. Mikey Pikey. Do androids dream of electric cheese? A deeper question, right, is, do androids eat a lot of electric cheese at night before they go to sleep and then have those weird sort of, like, electric cheese dreams? Now we're asking the important questions. Thank you very much, Mikey Bikey. Oh, we got another one. From Texas man again. I thought Trump was Hitler. Yeah, well, look, Texas man, right? Trump is Hitler, right? And Putin is Hitler. Musk is Hitler. Orban is Hitler. Like it's basically, right? Like, you know, there's sort of like when Hitler was destroyed, right? It's kind of like the Dark Crystal or something, right? When America, when the West, right, like, plunged the dagger into Hitler's heart, he split off into a million little mini Hitlers, right? They should have, like, scooped him up and, I don't know, thrown him into the fires of Mount Doom. But he split off into a million little mini Hitlers, and now he's everywhere, right? And the only way to stop him, basically, right, is to give complete control of the entire world to the technocratic global communists. I mean, it's the only thing you can do. Texas man again for $3. Thank you, mate. Are we all Hitler? Yes. I think there's a little part of Hitler inside all of us, bros. Right? Maybe when they burned his body outside the bunker in Berlin, right? He went up into the atmosphere, right? And a million little particles of Hitler, like, you know, dispersed all over the world, right? And it's like plutonium. You only have to breathe like one little nugget in, and before you know it, you got a little piece of Hitler inside you. So tiresome, bros. So fucking tiresome. So, Bild is among a number of experts who have drawn comparisons between Trump's statement and British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain's Peace of Our Time declaration. The Allies' concessions to Adolf Hitler, which included an annexation of territory, came a year before Hitler invaded Poland, triggering World War II. Oh my God. Wow. If only something had changed between 1945 and now. But I guess nothing has changed. So yeah, look, basically this is the line that the UK and NATO and all of them are going to go for. Any kind of negotiation with the Russians in order to have peace is basically World War II Part 2. I guess not enough Ukrainians are dead yet. There's still some of them left. It's so tiresome. Like honestly, how do they expect to have any kind of peace? Can you imagine living next to one of these people, right? They have a neighborhood dispute, right? And they go to a tribunal or something to work out the dispute with their neighbor, right? And they rock up and they're like, my neighbor is Hitler, right? Any kind of compromise is appeasement, right? You're lobbing firebombs across the fence, right? Trying to make another Dresden next door. People are like, look, if you set the house next to you on fire, right? The flames might leap to your house. And you'll be like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, not setting a house on fire is appeasement, bro. I don't know, mate. They're sounding a bit like they're Hitler, right? Mate, someone should release a board game called Who's Hitler, right? Where a bunch of people sit around in a circle and they all accuse each other of being Hitler, right? But only one person is actually the real Hitler, right? They got I don't know, they hide a special little mustache or something. Come on, that would be great. That would be great. If anyone wants to make a game like that, hit me up. I'll license it to you. Oh God. So the Ukrainians feel angry and betrayed. Shit, mate. If I was Ukrainian, I'd feel angry and betrayed as well. Remember all the people who basically told them oh yeah, the war against Russia, it'll be a doddle, bros, right? It'll be really, really easy, right? We'll just attack all the people in the Donbass. It'll be fine, bros. God. Of course, we don't really know how many people have died. You can't trust the numbers from either side, right? You can't trust what the Ukrainians are saying. You can't trust what the Russians are saying, right? But it does seem that the Ukrainians have definitely gotten the worst end of it. Of course, the NATO shills will be like, oh my God, how can you say that? Look, it does seem that way, right? The Russians aren't going around in vans snatching people off the street in order to press gang them to send them to the front lines. I'm just saying, right? So while some Kiev residents express relief over possible end to the war, others predict further Russian attacks in the future. Well, okay, so this is basically the argument that if Russia is not stopped in Ukraine, they will invade Western Europe. I have yet again to see anyone basically tell me how that would be in any way advantageous for Russia, right? Strategically speaking, what is it that they want from Western Europe, right? A warm water port? Well, they've got two now. They've got one in Kaliningrad and they've got one on the Black Sea at Sevastopol. Oil, they've already got enough. Wheat, they've already got enough, right? People, I just don't understand. Oh, Hitler, Putin, he's a madman. He's a madman. He just wants to invade Europe. Why? Oh, because he wants to be remembered as a king. Yeah, but he's already going to be remembered as an incredibly popular ruler of Russia, right? He basically saved them from the 1990s, right? If he started a land war with Europe, then he would be none of this makes fucking sense, right? Yeah, a bunch of people, they're saying the Lithuanians feel betrayed, of course, blah, 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 blah. This was always going to end this way, by the way, right? I think it was Kissinger who said that to be an enemy of America is dangerous, but to be a friend of America is deadly. Wise words there. Now, of course, the Americans have suddenly come over very transactional, right? They're like, well, you know, we did give you all of this fucking money and all of these weapons. You gonna pay us back, right? And Zelensky's presumably like, pay you back? What do you? I thought this was all for peace, right? The Americans are like, no, we actually want something from you. Nice rare earth minerals you're sitting on there, right? This is Pete Hegseth, who I think this was after he came back from Russia.
The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement. Instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops. If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission, and they should not be covered under Article 5. There also must be robust international oversight of the line of contact. To be clear, as part of any security guarantee, there will not be U.S. troops deployed to Ukraine.
Now, this is very, very significant. To give you sort of like the 10,000 overhead view, there won't be any American peacekeepers. They won't be part of NATO. They won't be covered under Article 5. Now, this is important because what it means is if anything breaks out along the line of contact, the Ukrainians are not going to be able to say, Article 5, now all of NATO has to like engage in a war with Russia. This is something that NATO has been sort of trying to, well, parts of NATO have been trying to avoid, whilst other parts of NATO have been like, we got to do it, right? Again, I'll be doing like more of a deep dive of this on Saturday night. Oh my God, so I'm already a half an hour in. Hegseth is basically, saying like, look, Uncle Sam is not going to be Uncle Sucker anymore, bros.
We must make NATO great again. It begins with defense spending, but must also include reviving the transatlantic defense industrial base, rapidly fielding emerging technologies, prioritizing readiness and lethality, and establishing real deterrence. Finally, I want to close with this. After World War II, first General and then President Eisenhower was one of NATO's strongest supporters. He believed in a strong relationship with Europe. However, by the end of Eisenhower's presidency, even he was concerned that Europe was not shouldering enough of its own defense, nearly making, in Eisenhower's words, quote, a sucker out of Uncle Sam. Well, like President Eisenhower, this administration believes in alliances, deeply believes in alliances. But make no mistake, President Trump will not allow anyone to turn Uncle Sam into Uncle Sucker.
Boom. Who was it? Simon JJ. This presidency has clear and direct messaging whenever any of Trump's people speak. Yeah, it's honestly amazing. It's like night and day, right? Like they come out and they actually say like actual things, right? It's night and day, right? Trump, of course, is furiously accused of World War II style appeasement, as MPs warn Britain must be ready to go to war with Russia, amid fears that Ukraine is only the start for Putin. Again, this is going to be the UK view, that, Putin is going to, like, invade Western Europe. We have to fight them over there so that we don't have to fight them here. Again, right? It's all World War II, right? Like, this is just, can we get, like, another narrative? Oh my God. So basically, right, all of a sudden, they're pushing the government to spend 5% of GDP on defense. In case any of you living in the UK are wondering how much that is, that would be an extra £77 billion a year, right? Which we can most definitely afford, bros, right? Because like we've just got money spewing from every orifice at the moment, right? The UK is just so wealthy. Actually, we're really, really poor. Please send money. Please send money. We're starving to death. It's like woke North Korea over here. Oh my God. Can't even get a fucking like meat pie. You got a license for that meat pie? How much meat is in that meat pie, Sonny? Give it up here. Then I'm going to run a meat test. If it's over 3% meat, there's going to be trouble for you, Sonny. Fuck meat. So yeah, basically, he's like, will the government impress on President Trump at every possible opportunity that the reason why appeasement led to World War II was that it left a vacuum in Europe, blah, 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 blah. Whereas the reason why the occupation of Eastern Europe at the end of the war did not lead to World War III was that the United States filled any possible vacuum and contained further aggression. Well, why doesn't Europe fill the vacuum, right? Europe seems to be extremely, big in its boots. Europe's like, we're a real power block, bros, right? We can hang with the big boys. Well, then why don't you step up and fill the power vacuum? It's literally on your border. Oh, no, not like that. Not like that, bros. Oh, we got another entropy. Another from Texas, man. It's $3 for a hair pie. Thanks very much, Texas, man. I'll get one of the special hair pies, with barbecue sauce. It's seed oil tastic, bros. Thank you very much. So if he's going for a settlement against the wishes of the Ukrainian people, the least he can do is guarantee directly the security of that part of Ukraine, which remains unoccupied. No. You're going to have to do that. Europe's going to have to do that. That's literally what Hegseth said. He's like, you've got to step up now. Europe bros, you want to hang with the big boys, right? It's time, right? And of course, they're basically saying, any negotiations must involve Ukraine, something that's just not going to happen because Ukraine is going to block any actual peace talks, as are most of the European nations, as we saw when Boris Johnson went over there and nixed the peace deal that was basically in there. Interestingly enough, exactly the same time this article dropped, I think a day beforehand, they must have gotten like advance news of this. All of a sudden, Sky News is like, are you going to increase the defense budget? Are you going to increase the defense budget to 5%? Are you going to? We're broke. Like, oh my God, right? It's fine. Just print some more money, raise more taxes. What's the worst that could happen, bros?
So do you believe that it will need to go above 2.5% for the UK?
We're increasing defence spending. We've already done it for this year.
It's important, though. Are you credible? How can you possibly be credible sticking to 2.5%? You're the Defence Secretary. Are you comfortable with the UK only aiming to spend 2.5%?
I'm proud we're a government that was elected to increase defence spending.
To 2.5%?
That we've made a commitment to increase defence spending that we've not seen in Britain for 15 years.
There's a war in Europe.
That is part of the wider effort.
Just FYI, right? Ukraine is not Europe, right? Ukraine is the bridge between Europe to the west and Russia to the east. That's why it's called Ukraine. It means the borderlands, right? At a push, you could basically use the River Dnieper, right, as the dividing line between Europe on the west bank of the Dnieper and Slavland on the east bank. To say that Ukraine is Europe is just, it's just sophistry.
That I was chairing, where European nations and others recognise that we must increase defence spending, and we will.
Can you commit, therefore, if the UK government policy remains at 2.5% spending for defence, that you will not cut any part of the UK armed forces?
We will increase defence spending.
Can you commit that you won't cut anything?
We will increase defence spending because we must do that to meet the threats.
Now, you see, he's being very cagey here, right? He's like, we're going to increase defense, not to 5%. We don't want to bankrupt the country, even more than it's already bankrupt, right? So Ukraine's like, we've got to be at the heart of any peace talk. No, you won't. Because they've tried that, right? And you always just throw a grenade in by essentially stating that the start of any peace talks must be Russia getting the hell out and returning all of the bits that they've conquered, which is never going to freaking happen. Anyway, running late. Our second story of the night. Doge is winning. So much winning. You're just, mate, tired of winning. Fuck, I'm so jealous of you and Monero bros. mate, if we're lucky, we'll probably get like a slimmed down, shitty sort of Englishified version of Doge in like maybe 4 years. It'll be like the English version of Mexican food, right? Where there's no like spiciness, right? All the jalapenos are grown in France or something like that, right? And be like, what is this bloody fucking pseudo Mexican food? Give me some proper Tex-Mex, please. Anyway, I digress.
So clarifying that the government can limit access to federal funds on the basis of the applicable authorizing statutes, regulations, and terms. Essentially, yes, the government can do so in complying with regulations, and then that the previous order does not bar both the president and much of the federal government from exercising their own lawful authorities to withhold funding without the prior approval of the district court, meaning, again, they can disperse the monies that they were allocated within the law, within the confines of the law, and that the government does not have to seek pre-clearance from the courts on terminating funding as long as they have the authority to do it.
So yes, I probably should have introduced that clip. Excuse me. The legal challenges to stop Doge from basically like stopping payments, the USAID and all this kind of other stuff has BTFO'd by another judge. There was some indication that Trump was sort of like lining up to like ignore the courts, but it's fine because they've got their own series of judges, right? Let's see, what's this? CNNBC then, of course. I don't know. I just enjoy watching CNN seethe. CNN is what they should rename themselves, bro.
Here's what I think is a joke. That you have these partisan hack Democrat attorney generals. They get together, and the only thing they know how to do is try to nullify the results of the last election by venue shopping these district court judges. They find the most lunatic liberals they can. They file lawsuits knowing full well they're going to try to usurp the president's authority, tie this up in court for years.
That stuff is sacrosanct. And you've got people going in there who don't know anything about
these are also just restraining orders.
Doing this.
They're
he knows
asking
nothing about it.
What you just said is so profound. You said these people don't know anything and they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
But they're appointees.
But Elon Musk.
I understand. But they are appointees of the duly elected president. So your view, you're here as our legal expert, but your view is because you don't personally believe they know enough that the duly elected president, who appointed a Treasury Secretary and who appoints special appointees like Elon Musk, shouldn't be able to act as the president because you don't personally believe they know enough?
Well, they
is
certainly
that how it works?
No.
Or do elections mean anything to you?
Well, it's got nothing to do with elections.
Of course it does. He's doing exactly.
It's got nothing to do with elections. This is about bureaucracy, not democracy. Come on, get your terms straight. Now, man, I'm running late. Musk did a sort of like thing in the White House. This was like fascinating. If you got the time, I would highly recommend watching the whole thing. It's really interesting. Just watching. I mean, look, I'm not saying like Musk is like 100% like a normal person, right? But you know, he's more normal than like most of the people that you see parade in front of the cameras at the White House, right? Like he's certainly able to like string logic together. Check this out.
If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large, unelected bureaucracy.
Thank you very much, Elon. That's what a lot of us have been saying for ages. Yes, a democracy is where a bunch of people vote to elect representatives that carry out their wishes. Democracy is not when you have a huge managerial elite bureaucracy running stuff with zero feedback. Oh, got another one from Texas Man. 2 more weeks. This is a threat to our bureaucracy. Yes, exactly, Texas Man. It is a massive threat to their bureaucracy. Bureaucrats BTFO'd, bros. This is great.
You know, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, that's a case where, like, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous. One of the two.
I think they're probably dead. Oh my God! Oh, ageism, ageism. They also said basically that he's going to go after certain people, government employees who are on relatively modest salaries, who suddenly seem to be multimillionaires for no reason whatsoever.
Could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about $30 million?
Right. Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened at USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from?
Nobody knows where it comes from. By the way, he's talking about Samantha Power, the head of USAID, who has a reported net worth of $30 million, despite having a salary of about $150K a year. Also, I missed a super chat from Texas Man. Terrible, terrible of me. Mr. Fist loves the BBC. Oh, it's true. It's true. It's why I pay my license fee. I get BBC delivered straight to my door and right into my eye holes. Thanks very much, Texas Man. Right. This is great. So as I was saying, it looks like there is a hard limit to how many federal employees they can fire. And that hard limit is because all the records are under Cheyenne Mountain, which is where they... yeah, I'll let Musk explain.
One of the things is, like, we are trying to sort of right-size the federal bureaucracy, just make sure that this, obviously, there need to be a lot of people working for the federal government, but not as many as currently. So we're saying, well, okay, let's, if people can retire, with full benefits and everything, that would be good. They can retire, get their retirement payments, everything. And then we were told, this is actually, I think, a great anecdote, because we were told the most number of people that could retire possibly in a month is 10,000. We're like, well, why is that? Well, because all the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork. And you look at a picture of this mine. We'll post some pictures afterwards. And this mine looks like something out of the 50s because it was started in 1955. So it looks like it's like a time warp. And then the speed, the limiting factor is the speed at which the mine shaft elevator can move determines how many people can retire from the federal government. And the elevator breaks down sometimes, and then nobody can retire.
Ladies and gentlemen, the leaders of the free world. Dude. As you can imagine, of course, CNN, Anderson Pooper, is very seasoning about the horrible Elon Musk, musky cyber Hitler boy.
We begin tonight, keeping them honest, with the extraordinary claims of government fraud by the president and similar claims of maximal transparency by Elon Musk, but little evidence of either to back it up. In fact, strong evidence to the contrary from Musk's contention that he and his DOGE team are doing what they do in a way that, quote, maximally transparent. He said that in the Oval Office, wearing a ball cap and T-shirt with one of his kids nearby. He and the president, who yielded the stage to him for minutes at a time, both speaking at length with reporters. The president, who's now facing a string of court cases surrounding his and Musk's actions, addressed concerns that he would defy court orders, saying he, quote, always abides by the courts, but also saying this. We begin tonight, keep
Ardent Party and Newsfist still getting more views than CNN Plus. Probably getting paid more too, honestly. Nice one, Ardent. Apparently, right, breaking news as well. They're actively dismantling the Department of Education. They're cutting shit left, right, and center, which is great. The Department of Education is just terrible, terrible. The USAID Inspector General, who was blocking Trump's ability to cut payments, has been fired. And there is also, because USAID sends so much food around the world, there's now a bunch of food stuck at various ports. The usual people are like, oh my god, right? The food might go off. It's stuff like grain and cooking oil and like dried lentils. Like, how long is that going to take to go off?
Of tons of food stored away at ports across the country could now go to waste following the shutdown of USAID.
Yeah, the government agency relied on the Port of Houston, among others, to send vital food aid to people in need overseas.
Victor Jacobo joins us live from Pasadena to explain why this is happening. Victor.
Yeah, that's right. President Trump putting a halt on foreign aid. That includes food that is sent through USAID to international destinations that need that aid. We learned today that farmers from Texas send their wheat down to ports here in the Houston area. We get rice from Louisiana and other crops from other states as well as part of that program. Now the short-term and long-term future of that program and those who benefit from it is now in limbo. On social media, President Donald Trump alleging unspecified corruption at USAID and calling to close it down.
It's not unspecified. They have specified it very, very clearly. This is clearly what they're like. It's unspecified corruption. Yeah, I mean, apart from like all the millions like you're sending overseas for like just crap. DOGE is going to try and lower treasury bills by cutting government spending, which will make the bonds more valuable, which will basically lower the yield. So, that's pretty good. And this is Musk at the World Governance Summit. I might be covering that next week. All the sort of usual horrible people are there, but they're now joined by people such as Musk. This is him basically saying, we've got to rip it up by the roots, which of course is the kind of thing that a fascist would say.
And how do you guarantee that all the incredible achievements that you aim to have in terms of savings, in terms of impacting the lives of the American people are not going to be reversed in 4 years? Typically, the cycle gets reversed every 4 years. Do you think it's going to be so impactful that it won't be reversed? Is there any ways that you can ensure that the progress is going to be continuous?
Well, I think we do need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave part of them behind. Because if you leave part of them behind, it's easy. It's kind of like if leaving a weed. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. So we have to really delete entire agencies, many of them. That's not to say there won't be an increase over time of bureaucracy in some new administration, but it'll be from a much lower baseline. So it's a step in the right direction. I think the overarching goal here is to lay the foundation for prosperity that will last many decades, maybe centuries, and but it won't be forever. Nothing's forever. But I think we can strengthen the foundations of the United States substantially.
Just what a fascist would say, ladies and gentlemen, right? As you might imagine, the popular opinion among the retards has swung against the cyber Hitler. Man in the street says the following.
How do you feel about Elon Musk?
I think he's an idiot. I think he is in our way, and I think we're in a very bad way because him and what is happening with him and the president. What they're doing is taking all the money, making more money for their billionaire friends. They're not helping any of the middle class or lower class at all. It stinks.
Do you think he's done anything good?
No.
Do you think billionaires should get out of politics?
Yes. And I think they should be paying taxes like everyone else.
How do you feel about Bill Gates?
I like Bill Gates. He at least is conscionable and will talk to you like a human being and treat you as such.
Oh, yeah. Last time I called up Bill Gates, right, he was really chatty. He talked to me like a human being. What the fuck, dude? Oh, I like Bill Gates. I assure you, he doesn't like you. Oh, my God. Oh, dude. Hilarious. Hilarious. Right. Okay, our final story. Oh, my God, I'm running late. I'm going to have to, like, speed through this one. The UK is following the WEF playbook and trying to make itself Canada again, basically. And a sort of intrinsic part of this is the new assisted dying bill, bros. Doesn't that sound nice? Assisted dying. We're just going to assist you to die. This has been like going through the parliament. There has been like a lot of debate about this. The, quote, terminally ill adults end of life bill was introduced by backbench Labour MP Kim Ledbetter. This bitch is basically the head of like an NGO that's all like, you know, right to death and all this kind of like other stuff. I don't, in principle, have a problem with the terminally ill wanting to end their lives. The problem is, of course, that once something like this happens, it gets expanded. And we've already seen this, basically, as you can imagine. They were like, oh, look, very, very robust protections, bros. You're going to need a high court judge in order to sign off on it. Look how many times they said it.
It has doctors checking for coercion. It has a high court judge double checking that this person has not been coerced, that it is their clear, settled and informed decision. It will be the most robust piece of legislation in the world. 2 doctors would be involved in the process. And then it would have to go to a High Court judge to add an extra layer of safeguarding.
2 doctors and a High Court judge. These are safeguards. You just told me the judge won't meet the patient. It's up to the judge to decide whether he or she meets the patient. They've got to talk to one of the doctors. They've got to satisfy themselves, not as a tick box exercise.
If, as the patient, you can't sign your own form, someone else can do it for you. So you can declare to a proxy. If you can't sign your own name, perhaps you can't read or there's a physical impairment. Are you comfortable with that?
That will be examined by the doctors. Then it has to go to a High Court judge. So all of this will be tested. I wouldn't have put my name to it if I wasn't absolutely convinced that these are the strongest safeguards in the world. They will be tested absolutely.
Yeah, so look. It's going to be 2 doctors and a High Court judge. And everybody knows, of course, that a High Court judge is completely uncorruptible, bros. But it turns out, bros, that they're not going to be using a High Court judge now. Someone basically presumably pointed out that the UK court system is already so incredibly overwhelmed, right? That adding, well, I mean, how many cases are they going to be seeing a year, bro? I mean, thousands of people just cannot wait to shuffle off this mortal coil after a sustained and irresponsible campaign of psychological warfare telling them that they are terrible people by accident, of course. It just happened. Look, it can happen to anyone. I occasionally go out to the backyard, right, have a cigarette at night and start a sustained 50-year campaign of psychological warfare against white people, right? Like it could happen to anyone. I totally believe it was a mistake, bros. So they're like, oh, we're just going to use experts now. We'll have 3 experts, right? It's going to strengthen it, bros. It'll be even stronger. You'll have 3, count them, 3 experts. Oh, for the Lord and Saints preserve us. This is Kim Ledbetter, the sort of witch-in-chief, human sacrificer-in-chief, basically talking about this.
There is a perception around the slippery slope concept which actually isn't reality. And it would have to be signed off by a High Court judge. A High Court judge is involved in the process. We're involving a High Court judge in the process. There will be a High Court judge, and that wouldn't just be a tick box exercise. The judge would speak to the doctors, be reassured that all the process had been followed.
And a judge to check that you are not being exploited.
It would have to go to a High Court judge.
Go to a High Court judge to make.
Judge, you've got the High Court judge.
High Court judge does a High Court judge would have to rule each time a person makes a request sign off by a High Court judge.
High Court judge.
A High Court judge to make.
Judge has got to approve it.
Then it has to go to a High Court judge. So all of this will be tested.
Checks and balances. And then it would have to go to a High Court judge to add an extra layer of safeguarding. It will be the most robust piece of legislation in the world. There is a perception around the slippery slope concept which actually isn't reality.
It isn't reality. So it turns out the assisted dying safeguards were a sham. Imagine my shock, bros. Now this might, in fact, sink the bill. I'm not sure. This is a bit of a bad play, honestly, right? What they should have done is pass the bill first with my High Court judge, and then a year later be like, oh, you know, we couldn't have possibly foreseen that this would have overloaded the legal system. We better change it, bros. We better have an amendment. But it looks like this might sink the bill. Perhaps they were like, you know, we really got to start, like, you know, getting people to shuffle off this mortal coil quicker. Yeah, basically, right? Let's see what else we got. So this is the Witch in Chief again as well. Now basically saying why it is they don't need a High Court judge to, you know, send you on your merry way, right? I mean, obviously these people aren't religious. So to the great void, I guess, is where they believe they will go.
By including psychiatrists and social workers, as well as a high level of legal expertise, we're actually adding more safeguards to the bill. And some would say actually too many safeguards. I'm just looking at my emails now and I've had emails from people saying,
oh, well, like psychologists and social workers. Wow. Well, I'm convinced, right? I mean, they are some of the most stable and trustable people in all of society. Have you seen the current crop of psychologists and social workers? Oh my God. Like, honestly, it won't be long if they get this shit through, right? That they'll basically be like, yeah, we've decided that like racism is basically a terminal disease.
why are you making this so difficult? Because we must remember at the heart of this is a terminally ill person who wants choice. And we're making them speak to two doctors, we're making them speak to psychiatrists, social workers and legal professionals. But I would push back on that and say this has to be robust. This is a huge change if it goes through and there is a change in the law. So I think by adding these extra safeguards, adding the extra multidisciplinary expertise, all headed by a High Court judge, that is a real improvement to the bill.
But that High Court judge you're talking about wouldn't now be scrutinising every case in the same way as it would have been under your original plans, would they?
Well, the idea would be you would not have one person scrutinising every case, you would have three experts scrutinising every case, and they would be experts in the two key issues that keep coming up in this debate, the issue of assessing capacity and the issue of checking for coercion. And, you know, the evidence that was given by the Association of Palliative Care Social Workers was very clear. They want to be involved in this process because that's what they do. They are working with dying patients all the time. They are around them. They are looking for signs of coercion, which can often be very subtle. Psychiatrists are highly trained in assessing for capacity. So by adding that extra expertise, I can only see that this is a strengthening of the bill.
Yeah. Forgive me for being a little bit cynical about this, bros. I have yet to see them start talking about the vulnerability of minority communities when it comes to assisted dying. I presume this will be afterwards. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, we can't, you know, let this disproportionately affect minority communities. We better just make it like Canada and make sure only the whites take the way out. Just remember, this is from Canada. Wait a second, have I got any more tweets? Oh, yeah. Check this shit out, mate. This is crazy. Did you know that the terminally ill are quite costly in monetary terms, bros?
We have to remember that the people we're talking about, the dying individuals who may want to make this choice at the end of their lives, are already receiving treatment in the National Health Service. They're already reliant on expensive care services, drugs, whatever it might be, as well as other social support mechanisms that will be costing the taxpayer. So while it is, of course, important that we see the overall impact assessment, we shouldn't pretend that the status quo is cost-free, because not only is it costly in monetary terms, it's also costly in terms of humanity.
Yeah. NHS is costing too much. Should we like reduce migration? No, let's just start killing people. You know, it makes sense. And basically, right, over the last 2 days, the Assisted Suicide Bill Committee has refused amendments to exclude people with impaired judgment, the depressed and suicidal, prisoners and homeless people, those unduly influenced by others, or those who are doing it because they feel a burden to others. The committee also refused an amendment that would restrict assisted death only to people who are dying in pain, the exact group the campaign that for this has all been about. So, you know, they basically say, oh, you know, we want it for like terminal people who are in incredible amounts of pain. And people are like, well, you know, if that's the case, how about say like, you know, you won't use it on the homeless or the depressed? And they're like, oh, no, we're not doing any of that. Oh, we got another entropy. From Stumbling. Let me see. I'll give you a cheers, Pepe. $3. Human life is a strain on our NHS. Stumbling. White human life is a strain on our NHS, right? If you've like just come over in a boat, you are a stunning and valuable addition to the National Health Service, bro. Think of all those interpreters that need work. Come on, just be precise, bro. Just to give you an idea of how incredibly sleazy this process is, this is someone trying to get a straight answer out of Leadbeater. About whether saving your relatives money would be a not permitted reason to give someone assisted dying.
Looking at the training process, this concept of motivations and why people are seeking assisted death would hopefully be considered.
Will she give way?
Of course.
I'm very grateful. Would she be content with somebody who had capacity choosing an assisted death for the purpose of saving their family money?
I think there's very few cases where it will be simple as straightforward as that. And that's why the conversations that take place with the doctors and professionals are really, really important. I think it was the doctor from California who said, if someone said to him, I am doing this because I am a burden, that would be a red flag. You would have to have a much more detailed, complex conversation with patients about what their motivations were. And I think it's really important that we acknowledge that, as medical colleagues have, as what those conversations might look like. Yeah, of course.
Danny Kruger.
But if the doctor concluded that they were doing it because they were a burden, they would still be able to get the assisted death under her bill. So the only question is whether they have capacity. If they've been judged to have capacity, choosing to have the assisted death in order to save their family money would be acceptable under her bill, would it not?
I think we're oversimplifying a complex situation and a difficult conversation. And I think, you know, we've talked about coercion a lot, we've talked about pressure a lot. I think those are conversations whereby if someone says, I just want it all to be over because I feel like a burden, that's the sort of conversation that I think doctors acknowledge would be a red flag. And I think, but those are complex, difficult conversations. That's why we need the expertise that we would get by providing serious amounts of training around this issue, so that those conversations can be taken place in a really sensitive way. Yeah.
Last intervention, I promise. I just want to hear her confirm that under the bill as currently drafted, after all these conversations have taken place, as long as the doctor cannot find evidence of coercion, they would be obliged to approve the assisted death, as with the judge or the judicial panel. That is the case, that no matter what conversations go on, unless there's evidence of coercion, if they conclude that the person has capacity, if they want to do it in order to save their family money, the doctors and the judges would have to say yes.
Kim Ledbetter.
I just think, again, I'll refer to my previous points, I think we're oversimplifying a really complex conversation here, which would be taking into account lots of different factors for that individual. And I think, I think that's as much as I would say on that point. I think it's also, I'll take one more intervention, but I am very conscious of time.
I thank the Honourable Lady. And I think it's really important here that we are honest about what the bill does. And I think what we are looking for here is a simple answer, yes or no. I think my Honourable friend has set out very clearly the situation, and I know the Honourable Lady understands her bill inside out. So if the Honourable Lady could give us a yes or no, I think that would be really, really helpful.
Kim Ledbetter.
Whether or not, it's the same question that my Honourable friend was asking. Would they be allowed to access assisted dying if there was, if it was very clear they had capacity and their reason for it was simply to not cost their relatives a financial expense and not be a burden. I think it's really important to be honest in terms of what this bill does. Is the answer yes to that?
Well, I'm certainly not being dishonest, which is the implication. So I think I would refer back to the complexity of those conversations and the fact that the safeguards that need to be in place around checking for coercion, checking for dishonesty, checking for pressure. But I think, ultimately it does come down to a question of autonomy and dignity and choice for patients. But they are not simple conversations, and I think it'd be very unusual that the conversation looked how she's describing.
Can we get a yes or no answer? Well, it's very, very complicated. Look at this chick's face. Can we just get a straight answer on this one? Oh, it's very, very, very complicated. Now, just to give you an idea of what's happening in Canada, according to the 5th annual report on MAID, there were 15,543 MAID provisions reported in Canada. I'm not sure what year this is for. There have been 60,300 MAID deaths reported in Canada since the introduction of legislation in 2016. Again, I have no idea. Oh, that's from 2023, right? So, and in case you're tired of all the diversity on TV, you can always go to an ad for assisted dying to see some happy Caucasian faces, bros.
Last breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see bubbles. I see the ocean. I see music. Even now, as I seek help to end my life, there is still so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it.
Where's all the diversity, bros? Where's all the diversity? Ah, mate. If I was a cynical sort of person, oh, I can't wait for oh my god, if they pass this bullshit, the ads the NHS are gonna fucking bring out, mate, are going to be like, oh, did you stub your toe? Have you considered killing yourself? Oh my god. Anyway, enough of that. It's time. It's time for some cringe, bros. As if that was not soul destroying enough. Have some cringe. We have such sights to show you. I really love the cringe ones with Pinhead. I don't know. It speaks to me. You know what I mean? You summoned us. We came with the cringe. You opened the cringe box. Right. Let's see. I know that was depressing, Livia. I'm sorry, but it is happening. So I have to cover it. This is hilarious. In case you guys aren't aware, Worcester. I know Americans can't speak like English place names, so do they pronounce it like Worcester? Worcester, Massachusetts votes to be a sanctuary city for transgender and gender diverse people. This is a clip up there with those clips from the DSA convention. This is some top tier cringe, bros. Check it out.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here. Up, I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum. And I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off. I do not want to be in your DMs. I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me. I want you to listen to me.
Look, we see you, right? We're listening to you. We're just ignoring you because you're crazy. It's like nobody sees it. Yeah, we see you, right? We just don't want to engage because you're crazy, right? Like, it's completely different.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books that the Nazis burned books on gender sciences first. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans, LGBT people, and even special needs, denying life-saving and affirming care.
Can you look at me and tell me how many of my friends need to die before you do anything?
Please wrap up.
Look at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
Fucking pathetic!
No, we're all done. Come on.
Of course, we need to continue celebrating Black History Month because in spite of what's coming down from Washington, we all know that we all exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
But be aware that you are a guest in my house when you come. And when you come, know that there are strong queer and trans people in my classroom who will collect you with the quickness.
My name in drag is Dee Dee Delight. And my name out of drag is Dewey Cosgrove Atienza.
Laddie LaRouge, he, they, in drag, District 3.
My legal name is Olivia D'Ambrosio. My public name is Livy Scanlon. My wife and I own a home in the Canal District.
I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like, all the time.
I can't think why that is, mate. You're always misgendered. Look, he looks like fucking Freddy Krueger on his day off. Holy shit, mate.
People refer to me as sir when I prefer to be referred to as ma'am. I speak as someone who is afraid to use public toilets.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to use a public toilet with you too, mate. Fucking hell.
I speak as someone who is a member of this community and is a queer person.
You have to imagine being me and my wife, fearing that our marriage rights will be stripped away at any moment.
Please, I only have so much time. Please, Joe's gonna cut me off.
Me and my wife. Nice one, Texas, man. My wife is a trans.
Which matters more? Covering the legal fees of systemic police brutality or protecting the lives of queer people in our community? How many lives have to be lost before you consider fighting back against fascism and corruption?
Now is the time to say that if federal money relies on the dehumanization of trans people, that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about easy funding than trans lives and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour grapes.
It's an extremely emotional and taxing thing to stand up here as someone as part of the trans and gender diverse community.
My name is Katie. I'm from District 5, and I'm speaking in support of agenda items 10B and 14B. Right now in our country, Trump is threatening the trans and gender diverse community.
Noticing people here are trying to control the rights of others.
Oh yeah, and then they get a kid up there, right? I'm not playing that, right? Like don't get children out to like, oh my God, you people have no shame. Oh my God. Anyway, so that's like crazy. USAID preacher wearing what looks to be like a rainbow. What's that thing called that the priests wear over their? It's not a scarf. I should know this. He's very, very upset that USAID has cut his funding.
What the bishops addressed in the letter this week was the 90-day ban given for recipients who are recipients of United States aid. As United Methodists, we partner with USAID through the United Methodist Committee on Relief. We are able to send food and supplies to war-torn regions in the world because we work in conjunction with our government. We are able to give tents and home or some type of home to displaced persons because we work in conjunction with the United States aid. And again, this is beyond my pay grade. I may not know what I'm talking about. But I believe that if we're concerned about this money not going where it's supposed to go to, that we can do a financial audit and feed the hungry at the same time. I think that's doable. We have an audit every year. They come in, they look at our books, they make sure that we're in alignment with all the appropriate laws and rules. Ministry doesn't stop. And sometimes they say, hey, you might need to tweak this right here, or have you thought about this over here? We can do both at the same time. I believe that one role of the government is to allow the church to do the work of the church. We need it. We can't go into a war-torn region safely. We need what the government can offer to do the work of the church. So the bishops are asking, let us do the work of the church.
Maybe you shouldn't need the government to do the work of the church. Just saying. It sounds kind of un-American to me. So you might have heard the Pope sitting behind a 30-foot wall inside the Vatican was like, Americans wanting to have a border is like very, very bad. Everyone, of course, knows that the Pope is basically a communist at this point. Don't worry, this is based. This is Tom Homan, the current immigration secretary in the US, basically telling the Pope to go do one. Nice.
I got harsh words for the Pope. Pope wants to fix the Catholic Church. I'm saying this as a lifelong Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I was First Communion as a Catholic. Confirmation as a Catholic. He ought to fix the Catholic Church and concentrate on his work and leave border enforcement to us. He wants to attack us for securing our border. He's got a wall around the Vatican, does he not? So he's got a wall around to protect his people and himself, but we can't have a wall around the United States. So I wish he'd stick to the Catholic Church and fix that and leave border enforcement to us. I got harsh words for the Pope.
Based. Right, okay, I'll skip ahead. This is so funny. Okay, so this is a real movie, right, coming out on Amazon Prime, okay? This was clearly designed because they thought Kamala was going to be president, right? I have like so many funny comments about this, but I probably can't say them. Just watch this. This is gold. Check this out.
Madam President, we have a situation. Ma'am, apprehension is minutes away.
A little much, don't you think, Mom?
Zip it. You and your brother are coming to Cape Town with us.
Why?
You know why.
All you ever care about is work.
I implore all world leaders to join me at the G20 summit. Come on, Madam President. Oh, damn. Now we gotta go save the world.
The 20 most powerful world leaders together. Going dark in 3, 2, 1. To the governments watching, I've taken the G20 by force. When we launch Project Deepfake, we will reset the world's financial markets. You gotta read the words exactly as written. Quick beige fox. Quick beige fox. Quick beige fox. Now we control the narrative.
My husband and kids are missing. We have to find them. If you want to live, you'll follow my lead. Now you're Captain America. That was quite, well done. They've got at least 5 hostages in the kitchen. Your survival is what matters most. I will not leave them. Drop it! Guns, 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 guns.
President Danielle Sutton. You get around, don't you?
I'll get around to you, too.
Mom, I can help.
Lights up.
Find her.
Where are my husband and kids?
We're all here together.
I'm gonna get you out of here. What if we get you into a comfortable pair of heels, hmm? Do you want an honest answer?
So it's basically Die Hard, but the hero is a stunning and brave black female president. I kind of want to watch this, actually, to be perfectly honest, right? Like, I reckon this would be hilarious, mate. Have a couple of bongs and just watch this for the lols. Oh, God. All right, okay, so we got some funny stuff now for you. Madam President. Madam President! Madam President!
Here, you absolute dribbler. Get down to the House of Commons chamber this instant.
Boy, piss off, you massive twat. What the hell's so important that you need my immediate attention?
He wants to hold another PMQ. He's a fucking idiot.
Oh, sod that. We literally had one today. Why the fuck would we need to do another one?
Yeah, Boris, were you not watching the bloody TV?
And why the hell would I watch that? All you bastards do is flipping lie. No, what I have planned is much better than that crap.
Well, go on then, spit it out.
Okay, so imagine this. So we perform a normal PMQ, but before you answer a question, you must be hooked up to this lie detector right here.
Oh, shit!
For God's sake, Boris, so you're telling me that I have to hold an entire fucking PMQ and I can't lie?
Well, obviously, you bloody pleb.
Yeah, well, that's just not bloody happening, mate. How on earth am I supposed to do that? Look, I've just come home from work. Why can't we just play Minecraft like normal people?
Yeah, this isn't fair, Boris.
Yeah, innit.
Can you all just sit the fuck down?
Fine, but if you start asking wild questions, expect a letter from my legal team.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Keir, I don't give a shit. Okay, let's get started with question 1, shall we? So, Keir, on a scale of 1 to fully bent over, how much influence does Lord Ali have over Labour policy?
Oh, sod this, I'm not playing this shit.
Here, just answer the question, you dickhead.
Fine. No, Boris, he doesn't have any influence over my policies.
Oh, well, unfortunately, it looks like you lied.
What? But I didn't bloody lie, though.
Oh, look, there it goes again.
Okay, fine, but he only has a tiny, insignificant influence.
Oh, we're going to be here all day at this rate.
Yeah, just tell the truth for once, mate.
Oh, for God's sake, yes, I'm fully bent over. Are you fucking happy now?
Well, I don't know. Let's see what the machine says.
Jesus Christ, that's flipping outrageous.
Oh, all of you can piss off. Ask Rishi a question now.
Oh, crap, here we go.
Okay, Rishi, here's a question. So, after you got evicted from 10 Downing Street, how badly did your wife cap your weekly pocket money?
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not talking about this.
Just answer the question, you prick.
No, because I'm literally no better off than the filthy commoners now.
Well, at least he didn't lie, I guess.
I love these. Right, what else have we got? If you're looking for some eggs on the DL in the American countryside, this dude can hook you up.
All right, city folk, listen up. We understand that there are certain items from poultry that have gotten really expensive, and you may be looking to buy some on the side, and that's great. We can hook you up. But understand something. You don't go rolling up to the first coop you see in the countryside and just say, I would like to buy a dozen eggs. It's not how it works. We don't call them that out here. They're called seeds. All right, now look, we got what you want. What do you want? You want some Rhode Island Delights? You want some Red Sex Link specials? You want some Orpington Rounds? Sure, we can hook you up. But understand the lingo. And don't be asking for things like a dozen eggs, because the cops know exactly what you mean when you say a dozen of something out here. No. You can buy singles, you can buy unos, you can buy a straight 6, you can buy a disciple pack, a double disciple pack. We will hook you up. But don't just come up and hand me cash like you've never done this before, all right? You put it in an envelope, you drop the envelope on the ground. I'm gonna nod in the direction of a brown paper bag that might contain your seeds. We're gonna pick up our respective items and go our separate ways. So that's how it works. Get it right.
Nice. What else we got? Oh, this is from Danny Polachuk. This is really good.
Since making a number of hotly contested cabinet appointments, President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social earlier today that he would be creating a department of memes and selected a relatively unknown in Josh Towers to head this new department. It will operate within the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, run by Elon Musk. And joining me right now for a CNN exclusive are Elon Musk and new meme czar Josh Towers. Mr. Musk, I'll go to you first. Why does our country need a department of memes?
Memes are a very powerful weapon. They've helped get President Trump elected twice now. And as the world gets more and more online, it's integral that our country dominate the meme war. Plus, they're fun.
Josh is the new meme czar. What are your qualifications?
Thanks, Anderson. Good to be here. I don't think there's a person in this country more qualified for this position than me. I've created some of the world's best-known memes. I made the "when you nut but she keeps sucking" meme, the Galaxy Brain meme, Hide the Pain Herald, Wojak, NPC, and many more.
Josh is basically the Da Vinci of memes. His memes are shared tens of millions of times per day, and they have a power I don't think people comprehend. It's in the best interest of the country to seize the memes of production.
Josh, so what will your day-to-day look like as meme czar?
It will be pretty similar to what I'm doing now, but with greater resources. A lot of scrolling through X, Reddit, and other social media sites. I've already started to work on some tariff-related memes. However, they're classified, so I can't share them with you, but I can assure you they will be devastating.
Elon, can you explain to me how memes might help with tariffs and a potential trade war?
I've spoken extensively with President Trump about this. Say the president slaps some tariffs on China, like he did recently. At first, Xi may not want to play ball, but then Josh can whip up a meme like the cartoon dog in the burning room, but instead of the dog's head, it's President Xi's face in the burning room saying, everything's fine. Xi will look terrible if President Trump starts posting that stuff and people start reposting it. He'll be forced to come to the negotiating table.
Yeah, Anderson, and little known fact, I actually made the "everything's fine" meme. But look, it's similar to the Bud Light situation. Bud Light used Dylan Mulvaney to sell their beer, and the meme backlash was so bad it damaged the company's brand and caused massive financial damage. We'll do that same thing to entire countries. They'll be so screwed there's nothing they can do.
And what prevents China from making their own memes?
Ha! That's easy, Anderson. Have you ever seen a Chinese meme? Exactly. They're not even in English. They're at least 10 years behind the US, and they just don't have the technology or manpower to compete with us. While we're torching them with the latest and greatest in meme warfare, they'll be cranking out NPC memes calling Trump orange. They're just behind the times.
And what will this cost American taxpayers?
That's the best part, Anderson. We're giving Josh $70K a year and an unlimited supply of Zyn and energy drinks. We can't afford not to do this.
Thank you to both of our guests. After the break, we look into whether or not Joe Biden is still alive. The answer might come as a shock to some of you.
If you like that...
What else have we got? Skiing in Washington. This is the most American thing ever. It's awesome. America! Woo! God bless. Next weekend. I'm early. USA! We rise for the rights of all citizens. No taxation without representation. Woo! Never forget, my citizens, that a brave few stood against the might of an empire! Woo! Woo! Let no monarch tax us without representation in government, gentlemen. Woo! God bless you, Redcoat! God bless you! Woo! My God! God! I must enter the wilderness, for there are loyalist spies, and they shall die by my blade. My God. It's time to use... it's time to use the restroom. My God. Dude. Right. I don't know who this guy is, but it's funny.
It ain't often I rate what the politicians say in the Houses of Parliament, but I've got to show this fucking clip. It is a belter. But before then, let me give you the context. It's fucking Armageddon time, mate. The Health Secretary has gone full farmyard. You never go full farmyard, mate. You know what I'm saying? The actual Health Secretary, the person in charge of the NHS, reckons that people can self-identify as, wait for it, llamas. That's not a joke. This ain't a leaked script from a Monty Python sketch. This is actual government policy, right? Fine, all right, I'm a llama now. Nice. So I don't have to pay council tax now. No more fucking council tax for me. You can't charge a llama council tax. What about speeding laws? What if I gallop down the M25? What, am I going to get 3 points on me fucking hoof? TV licence? When was the last time you saw a llama watching Antiques Roadshow? I don't have to pay that. Then criminal record. If I break the law, what are they going to do? Lock up an animal? RSPCA ain't going to have that, are they? Yeah, healthcare. Do I get to go to the GP and get free worming tablets? Llamas spit and all. How about that, actually? Can I go in the house's apartment and give a little spit off to the politicians? All right? Listen, can I identify, actually, as an endangered species? Because I fucking feel like one right now. Am I the only person around here that thinks that's fucking mental? What is going on? If a fully grown adult comes to you and says, I'm a guinea pig, your first response should be to call a fucking doctor, get him in a fucking psych ward or something. If you don't do that, then you are the problem. And in fact, if our health secretary thinks this is normal and this is a progressive stance, that is genuinely terrifying. Is no one else shitting themselves? Look, I'll play along, all right? If you can identify as a llama, I want to identify as tax exempt. Is that all right? Yeah? Anyway, have a little butchers at this. Absolute belter from Lee Anderson.
Lee Anderson. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, the new Health Minister has stated that it's OK for a human being to present as a llama. So what I want to know is if I have a family member who presents as a llama, suddenly becomes ill in the middle of the night, do they send for a doctor, a vet, or a straitjacket?
Hey, you keep on with jokes like that, and I might let you open for me on my tour, Lee. Absolute madness.
Yeah, so the new health secretary that after the last one got found out being racist on WhatsApp is a stunning and brave they them. Oh, dude, it's crazy. Right, another Garen music. Thanks for sending this to me. Say these.
My country needs to shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. Ireland is now thinking about getting its own time zone. Listen, I love my homeland, but we have got the worst fucking main character syndrome. We may go back to Dublin Mean Time, which was 25 minutes and 21 seconds behind GMT. And you know well, the only reason we're thinking about doing this is because we are currently in the same time zone as the English. But here's what nobody's thinking about. This would put England in the future. I don't fucking trust them in the future. They'll ruin it for us, the cunts. What fucking difference does the 21 seconds make? That's just being awkward for the sake of it. Oh, I cannot sleep, it's too bright. Oh, that's lovely now. Typical Irish main character syndrome. We're making a fool of ourselves. Can we not just solve something fucking normal for once? But we do have nice butter. Follow me, I'm delicious.
Yeah, that's true. The Irish do make good butter and good terrorism, you know? This is funny.
My entire life savings is gone. Please don't let this happen to you. Last week, I received what I thought was the most exciting email of my life from Real Timu at QY935B2N4F.com. It said they would send me $5,000 a week if I partnered with them. But first, to verify it was me, I had to tell them how much I had in my savings, then take it all out in cash and put it in a shoebox on my doorstep. I love Temu, and this would be a life-changing deal, so I took out $65,000 and left it on my doorstep so they could look at it really quick. And somebody came and stole all of it. I was freaking out, but luckily the FBI called me and said they wanted to take on my case. But as collateral, I had to send them $100,000 of Google Play cards to RealFBI at QY935B2N4F.com. So I took out a $100,000 loan, sent them the codes, and they immediately redeemed all of them and ghosted me. I went from $65,000 in savings to $100,000 in debt. I think the most troubling thing about this story is that it could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone. Right, we just got some like random stuff I got off Telegram.
Poland. Upside down Poland. No. Poland in fall. Upside down Poland at night. Castle Poland. Christmas Poland. Premium Poland. Sideways Poland. Poland inside Poland.
The many faces of Poland. This is absolutely true.
Can someone please tell me why trees in Europe have no leaves? Is it because of climate change? I have never seen this in Florida.
Because we Europeans, every night, we pick up the leaves from every tree. Like this.
It's true. It's true. We just do it to confuse the Americans. Man, cartoons from the past are like a different country, bro.
Well, it's one of our boys.
The sun shines bright in my old Kentucky home. Hey there, boy. How about giving out with something peppy on that there skin box, huh? Yeah. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Yankee Doodle? Put a carrot in his hat and called it the carrot. You traitor. Don't beat me, massa. Please don't beat me, massa. Don't beat that tired old body. No, don't. What's this I hear about you whipping slaves? But, never mind the buts. Here's my card. Look me up at my Gettysburg address.
Oh, bro. Oh, hilarious. Alex Stein is out trying to save the big booty Latinas.
Big booty Latinas can stay! Protect big booty Latinas!
Man, what's up with that? Don't come over here disrespecting our women.
Well, I'm trying to protect them. I don't want them to get deported.
Fucking racist asshole.
How is that racist? I want big booty Latinas protected. Dude, I'm on your side. Dude, what are you doing?
I'm scared, my boy?
I'm not scared at all. What's going on?
Fucking push me.
Hey, I'm not
Don't
touching you.
fucking
I'm trying to protect you.
No, the fuck you're not.
Yes, I am. You're a big booty Latina.
Hey, you say
I
that
wanna
one more
protect
time.
you.
If he says that one
What
more
I
time.
say, big booty
Say that
Latina.
one more time.
What are you gonna
Say
do?
that one more time,
Big
bitch.
booty
Say
Latina.
that one more time, bitch.
Big booty
Say
Latina.
that one more time,
Big booty
motherfucker.
Latina.
Fuck you.
What?
Fuck you.
Big booty Latinas get to stay.
Just go to the back right now.
Yeah.
Hey, just go to the back right now. I'll show you how much
Yeah.
of a coward I am.
Oh, I'm real scared. I'm real
go,
scared.
go, go.
Protect her. I want to protect all big booty Latinas. If she's a 9, she's fine. Protect big booty Latinas.
He's calling me out, but he won't go to the back with me real quick.
I'm not gonna wrestle with 2 twinks and some fat Mexican.
Just fuck with this fat Mexican in the back.
If there's a taco truck right there, maybe. We want to protect big booty Latinas under all costs. Big booty Latinas. Big booty Latinas are welcome to stay, not big booty Latinos. His ass, he's got to go.
Bruh. Right, we got some cute animal videos for you now. If you don't want to send me front and back pictures of your credit card, you could always send a super chat. It's not too late, bros. It's not too late. Oh, we still got more. I got the order slightly mixed up. This is Ryan Long. This is good.
Who do you think has a nicer set of jugs, Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris?
I'll go with the white shit.
Do you go with the white titties? Why is it that you take the white gazumbas over the black titties?
Her ideology is not breast-like.
I actually thought I entered a time warp and went back 100 years because I could not believe somebody was asking this question.
What question?
Yeah, you said who's got the nicer titties, Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris?
What did you think on the answer to that question?
I don't have an answer to that question.
You had to pick between the 2 sets of gazumbas.
By the question.
I know that mental illness can come in pairs.
Of titties or?
Phenomena.
What were you saying about a pair?
Like that you guys are paired together in this absurd...
I'm an anti-porn activist, as a matter of fact, but you're not going to get an interview from me about the subject because I want...
What's your favorite anti-porn? Is it people's ants?
Your mother would be very ashamed you're doing this kind of work.
Right. Okay, sorry. Right, now the cute animals. Right, sorry, I messed up the order. Cute, but also deadly. This is just weird. Sadie sent me this. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Right, what else have we got? Sheebas. don't think Shibas are overrated. I think they're adorable. I mean, of course, I've never owned one, so I mean, Golden Retrievers. Aw. What else have we got? Kitty, I think. Let me in. Oh, this is just really, really cute.
Yeah. Again. Oh, yeah, I'm in now. Yeah, okay, thank you. Look. I see them. I see them. You're so clever. I can't have this hand going as well because that has camera on it. Yeah.
Aw. And our final cute animal video of the night. Gimbal Kitty. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, bros. I'll be on Gulag Cafe tonight. We'll be talking about the UK's new climate nudge policy and just generally making a bunch of jokes and stuff like that. It'll be a pretty relaxed stream. Thank you so much for coming. Let's say goodbye to the chat on Rumble. We have Captain Crisps, Sede Sapiente, Argent Party, Cthulhu Loves You, Crispy13, Mass Creation Broadcasts, Janice, who else have we got? I know we got some like more people on Rumble. Years is gone. Edie Wolf, good to see you. J Chiva Loophole, Livia Drusilla. Thanks a lot for coming, everyone. Texas Man, of course. Thank you very much for your super chats. Texas Man. Anybody else we got up in here? I think that's everybody on Rumble. On YouTube, we've got 007, Full Short, Ardent Party again, Budgie Burger, Otto Stormheart, Anti-Whiteism Ends With You, Simon JJ, thanks for the super chat, Simon. Who else we got? Linda Hunter, Roger Cook, Dawn Browning, good to see you, Dawn. Is that everybody? Victorian Time Traveller, I think Evil Author 1776 was in here somewhere as well. I think that's everybody. And on Odyssey, we have Dax666, MK, Machine for Baked Beans, Flying Axe Blade. Who else we got? Highland Fool, I think, was in there as well. Anyway, thank you so much for coming, everyone. I will be back on Monday. Please check out the Redux Report on Saturday night with Black Pigeon Speaks. It's on his channel. It'll be a sort of like global news wrap-up. This week, I imagine we'll be talking about the situation in Ukraine and a bunch of other stuff. Hope to see you then. Good night, everyone.